The small alien colony of Lurith had always been peaceful. Its green hills and shallow rivers made life gentle. But the galaxy had no mercy for such quiet worlds. One morning, the colony awoke to the roar of distant explosions. Huge ships appeared in the sky, dark and glowing. The elders tried to call for help through their normal channels, but the attackers destroyed their communication towers. As the colony fell into chaos, they had no choice but to send a desperate distress signal. The signal was weak, broken, and filled with fear. It carried one simple message: help us. Send someone, anyone. But the universe was vast, and the call traveled far into regions that were usually ignored. Among the ships that received it, there was one human science vessel. Humans were known in the galaxy as Deathworlders, beings who survived where others could not. Many species feared them. But humans rarely sought war. They survived because they could endure, adapt, and fight when needed. Captain Aaron Blake stood on the bridge of the human ship, staring at the incoming message. His dark hair was slightly messy, and his brown eyes showed focus and thought. Next to him, Engineer Lily Carter checked the ship's systems, while Medic Ben Howard adjusted the medical bay monitors. Pilot Megan Scott leaned against the window, watching the stars. And xenobiologist Daniel Brooks studied the faint signals from the broken colony. "This is strange," Daniel said, frowning. "The call is weak. And it is old. It may be weeks or even months since they sent it." Aaron nodded. "We can't ignore it. Someone is in trouble. Even if it's a trap, we have to investigate." Lily shook her head. "We don't know what kind of danger is there. The atmosphere could be toxic, and their attackers might still be around." Aaron's voice was firm. "That is exactly why we go prepared. Humans do not run from danger. Get ready. We leave immediately." Preparation was careful but quick. The crew knew that traveling to unknown systems could be deadly. The ship's engines roared to life, vibrating through the deck. Tools were checked, weapons were tested, and protective suits were packed. Megan ran simulations of flying through dangerous skies. Ben organized medical kits for every possible injury. Daniel studied maps of alien worlds to guess the type of terrain they might find. During the journey, the crew spoke little. The hum of the engines and the blinking lights of the consoles were constant companions. Humans had traveled to many strange places, but none like this. The signals showed a world under siege, a world that might not have enough life left to survive. The thought weighed on Aaron. He had saved many colonies before, but he had never seen such fear in a message. It was raw, desperate, and pleading. After days of travel, the human ship reached the system. From space, the crew saw smoke and fire rising from a small planet. It was hard to make out the surface, but shapes of buildings, broken towers, and large craters were visible. Lily whispered, "They are worse off than I imagined." Aaron gave orders. "We land carefully. Keep sensors active. We do not know what is waiting for us." As the landing craft touched the rough surface, the crew felt the heat and dust. The air was thick with smoke, making breathing difficult even with suits. The colony's buildings were mostly destroyed. Streets were cracked and broken. Fires burned uncontrollably in some areas. The aliens of Lurith were hiding, watching from caves and broken homes. The humans' arrival startled them. Most had never seen humans before. Some thought the humans were another threat, ready to finish what the attackers had started. Aaron stepped down first, his boots heavy on the dusty ground. "We are here to help," he said clearly. Even though the aliens could not fully understand his language, his tone was calm and strong. Lily and Ben followed, carrying supplies and medical kits. Megan stayed by the landing craft, ready to take off or provide backup. Daniel scanned the area, recording the damage and searching for survivors. A small alien boy named Talon watched from a broken wall. His green eyes were wide with fear. He had lost his parents and was alone. He wanted to run, But something in the humans' movements made him pause. They did not attack. They did not scream or fire weapons. They moved slowly, carefully, like they wanted to help. Ben set up a small medical station near a broken fountain. He treated a few injured aliens who had small burns and cuts. Lily began connecting the colony's broken power system to portable generators, trying to restore minimal energy. Daniel recorded everything on his devices. Fascinated by the damage and the aliens' reaction, Megan patrolled the area, watching for enemy ships or sudden dangers from the environment. Talon slowly approached, curious but afraid. He saw Aaron helping an older alien woman, holding her hand and guiding her to safety. Lily gave water to a small child who had a scratch on her arm. Ben carefully bandaged wounds while speaking in a soft voice. Daniel pointed at broken tools, trying to show the aliens that humans could fix things. After some time, a small group of survivors came out of hiding. They whispered among themselves. No one had ever seen humans act like this. They expected humans to conquer, destroy, or demand something in return. But these humans only wanted to save them. The elders of the colony were hesitant, but they allowed the humans to help. They knew they had no other choice. Aaron spoke to the elders slowly, using gestures and simple words. We help. Safe. No fight if we work together. The elders nodded, understanding a little. They began to guide the humans toward the most damaged areas, showing them where survivors were trapped and where help was most needed. The day passed slowly. Humans worked without complaint. Megan lifted rubble to reach trapped aliens. Lily repaired broken power circuits. Ben treated burns and cuts. And Daniel cataloged everything. Aaron coordinated the rescue, moving quickly but carefully. The aliens began to see them as protectors, not enemies. As the sun set, the sky turned red from the fires and smoke. The humans had saved dozens of aliens, and more survivors were beginning to trust them. Talon stayed close to Aaron, watching him guide the aliens to safe shelters. He whispered to another boy, "They are strong. They want to help, not hurt." That night, the humans set up a temporary base in the remains of a large building. They lit fires for warmth, shared food and water with the aliens, and discussed the next steps. Aaron spoke quietly to his crew. We do not know if the attackers will come back. We prepare for tomorrow. We save as many as we can. Lily looked at the sky, where the stars shone above the smoke. They sent a cry for help, she said softly. We are the ones who answered. Aaron nodded. Humans are strange to the galaxy. They survive where others die. Fight where others run. We are Deathworlders. But we are also helpers if we can be. The aliens, hidden in caves and shelters, began to whisper to each other. The humans were not like any species they had seen. They were strong, fearless, and willing to risk their lives for strangers. Slowly, hope returned to Lurith, and for the first time since the attack, fear was mixed with relief. Talon fell asleep near a small fire, thinking of the humans and their strange strength. The humans watched over the survivors, ready for whatever the next day might bring. The night was quiet. But the galaxy was not. Somewhere far away, the attackers would return. But the humans from Earth were there. And they were not afraid. The cry for help had been answered. And the Deathworlders of Earth had come. The first day of rescue ended. But the real test was just beginning. The humans knew this world would challenge them. But they were ready. They had survived harsh worlds before. And this one would be no different. They were here to save, to protect, and to prove that humans, though feared, could be heroes. The morning sun rose weakly through the smoke of Lurith. The humans were already awake, checking on the survivors and preparing for the day ahead. Aaron stood at the edge of the settlement, watching the ruins. He could see burned buildings, broken roads, and small groups of frightened aliens moving slowly from one shelter to another. The colony was damaged beyond recognition, but some signs of life remained. Lily worked with the survivors to set up temporary energy systems, She connected portable generators to the colony's broken circuits and powered small shelters. "We need light and heat," she said, adjusting a power cable. "Without it, the survivors cannot recover properly." The aliens watched, amazed at how quickly humans could fix broken technology. Some whispered to each other, saying they had never seen such skill. Ben and a small group of aliens moved through the ruins, tending to injuries. Cuts, burns, and bruises were common. Ben used simple tools and medicine packs, carefully explaining each step to the aliens. "This will help you heal," he said in a calm voice. The aliens nodded, slowly trusting the humans more with each act of care. Megan prepared the ship for quick maneuvers. She flew above the settlement, scanning for threats and watching the skies. "We may get visitors," she said to Aaron. "We need to be ready." Humans were trained for danger, and Megan knew the galaxy often tested them. Her hands moved quickly over the controls, simulating attacks and planning escape routes. Daniel stayed near the central square, recording the situation. He studied the damaged buildings, the strange plants, and the alien survivors. His notebook was full of sketches and notes. He was fascinated by how the aliens had survived the initial attack. They were weak and scared, but some of them were resilient in their own way. Talon stayed close to Aaron. The young alien boy had grown to trust the humans, especially the captain. He followed silently as Aaron checked on survivors in the outer sections of the colony. Talon pointed to a collapsed building. "People trapped," he whispered. Aaron nodded. "We helped them," he said. He called Megan and Lily to prepare lifting tools. Megan flew above, guiding them to safe positions, while Lily connected strong cables to broken beams. Together, they lifted the heavy rubble and freed 3 aliens who were badly injured but alive. "Thank you," one of the rescued aliens said, tears in her eyes. She could not speak human words, but her voice trembled with gratitude. Aaron only nodded, focused on the next task. As the day went on, strange sounds appeared in the distance. At first, it was subtle, small ships moving through the atmosphere. Then, a low hum grew louder. Megan squinted at the scanners. "They're back," she said. "Enemy scouts. Not the full fleet, but they are close." Aaron gathered the crew quickly. "We do not panic. We protect the survivors first. Then, we prepare to face them." He moved with calm authority, showing no fear. The humans had faced dangers far greater than this. The alien survivors watched with awe as humans organized and prepared, not fleeing from the threat. Lily and Daniel worked to reinforce shelters. Lily built barriers from broken metal and stone, while Daniel calculated weak points in the colony's defenses. Ben organized the survivors, showing them where to hide and how to stay safe. Megan flew close to the enemy scouts, trying to lure them away from the shelters. The alien scouts hesitated when they saw Megan. Humans had survived environments that killed most species. The thick smoke, burning air, and rough terrain were unbearable for many alien species. But Megan flew easily. Her ship weaved between ruined buildings and ash clouds, confusing the enemy scanners. The scouts could not anticipate the humans' tactics. Aaron led a small group on the ground. They moved quickly, but carefully. Each human carried emergency weapons. Not to kill, but to disable the enemy if needed. They placed traps near narrow streets and dangerous ruins. Lily and Daniel helped, improvising barriers and alarms from scrap materials. The survivors of Lurith watched in silence, beginning to understand the human strength. The enemy scouts attacked in small waves. Megan's ship swooped and turned, drawing fire away from shelters. Humans on the ground guided survivors into safe zones. Ben treated injuries under fire, calmly speaking to frightened aliens. Aaron coordinated movements, making sure humans and aliens worked together. The enemy was confused. They expected easy prey, weak targets, But humans were resilient, clever, and fearless. After several hours, the scouts retreated. Megan reported to Aaron. "They are pulling back. Not defeated. But they did not expect us." Aaron nodded. "We learned something today. The colony is weak, but we are stronger. They will think twice before attacking again." He turned to the survivors. "We are here to protect you. Work with us, and you will survive." Talon smiled slightly. He had watched humans fight without fear, treat aliens with care, and improvise in impossible situations. He whispered to another boy, "They are not like anyone we know. They fight and help at the same time." The humans spent the rest of the day repairing shelters and distributing food and water. They taught the aliens to use simple tools and shared their own methods for survival. The young ones learned quickly, and some even helped carry small supplies. For the first time since the attack, hope began to grow in Lurith. At night, the humans held a small meeting. Aaron spoke quietly to his crew. "Tomorrow, we prepare for the next attack. The colony will need our help. They may not have enough strength yet, but together we can hold them. We are Deathworlders. We survive where others fail, and we protect where others fear." Lily checked her notes. "The survivors are learning fast. They are not strong yet, but they have courage now." Ben added, "They see humans are not enemies. That is important. Trust can be a weapon too." Daniel nodded. "I have recorded everything. The colony will remember what we did. The galaxy will remember what humans did." Megan looked at the dark sky. "They may come back in full force, but we are ready. We survive. We adapt. We fight when needed." Aaron smiled slightly. "Exactly. We came because they called for help. Now, we will stay because they need protection. Humans do not abandon cries for help, no matter where they come from." The night was tense, but the humans' presence gave the colony hope. Fires burned slowly in controlled areas, giving warmth and light. The aliens slept cautiously, knowing humans watched over them. The next morning, strange clouds appeared on the horizon. The humans recognized the signs immediately, enemy forces approaching in full. Aaron called the crew together. "Today is the real test. We fight, but we do not panic. The colony is not alone. We are here. Humans do not fail in this moment." The aliens prepared under human guidance, carrying supplies, helping wounded, and learning simple strategies. They no longer hid in fear, but moved with purpose, humans and aliens together, ready to face the storm. As the first enemy ships appeared over the ruined horizon, Megan took to the skies, weaving through ash and smoke. Lily activated improvised barriers. Daniel adjusted early warning alarms, and Ben kept treating the wounded. Aaron led the group on the ground, coordinating every move. The enemy was surprised. They expected weak targets, terrified of humans. Instead, they faced creatures who could endure the harsh environment, fight with clever strategies, and protect the vulnerable. The aliens of Lurith watched in awe as humans turned the tide of the first skirmish. The scouts retreated again, but Aaron knew this was only the beginning. Tomorrow would bring more challenges. But humans were ready. They survived where others perished. And now, they were teaching an entire colony to survive as well. Talon, sitting by a small fire that night, whispered, "Humans are strange. They fight, but they help. They do not fear, but they care." He smiled for the first time since the attack. The humans had not only saved lives, they had given hope, and the colony of Lurith would remember that hope. For humans from Earth had arrived, not as conquerors, but as protectors. The day after the first attack began with tension in the air. Humans and alien survivors were awake before sunrise, preparing for what they knew was coming. Aaron walked through the settlement, checking on shelters and supplies. His eyes scanned the horizon, where smoke and dust made the landscape look harsh and dangerous. Lily connected extra energy lines to power up defensive barriers. She adjusted broken machinery and used scrap metal to strengthen weak walls. Ben moved from group to group, giving instructions and treating minor injuries. Megan checked her flight systems and plotted patrol routes above the colony. Daniel studied maps of the surrounding terrain and noted potential ambush points. Aaron called the crew together. Today, they come in force. We will not panic. We fight smart. We protect the survivors. And we survive. Humans survive where others fail. His voice was steady, calm, and full of confidence. The aliens watched him carefully. Learning from his courage, some of the older survivors nodded, finally feeling hope that they could endure another attack. By mid-morning, the enemy fleet appeared over the horizon. Dozens of ships glinted in the sunlight, moving in formation. The aliens gasped. They had never seen so many attackers at once, but the humans were ready. Megan's small craft moved quickly through the smoky skies, darting between ruins and ash clouds. The enemy fire struggled to track her. She relayed positions to Aaron and Lily, giving them time to prepare ground defenses. Lily activated energy barriers that she had improvised from the colony's damaged machinery. Sparks flew as the system powered up, creating a temporary shield over the main shelter area. Daniel watched with fascination, noting how humans could use even broken alien technology in clever ways. Aaron led a team of humans and a few brave aliens to set traps along narrow streets and broken roads. They dug pits covered with rubble, tied strong cables to falling beams, and positioned simple explosives they had carried from the ship. Every action was precise, designed to use the environment to their advantage. Ben helped guide the injured and frightened aliens into safer shelters. He spoke gently, calming their fears. "You are safe with us," he said. "We will protect you." Some aliens clutched his hands, trusting humans more than they had trusted anyone since the attack began. As the first wave of enemy ships reached the settlement, Megan swooped down, drawing fire and confusing their targeting systems. The attackers tried to strike the humans and survivors, but Megan's maneuvers made it nearly impossible. She dodged missiles, flew through smoke and fire, and sent real-time updates to Aaron. On the ground, Aaron triggered a series of traps. A large beam fell across a narrow street, blocking enemy vehicles. Hidden pits caught smaller scouts off guard, and improvised explosives created smoke and confusion. The enemy was surprised by the humans' use of the ruined environment. They had expected easy targets, weak and terrified. But the humans fought like creatures born for harsh worlds. The alien survivors began to participate. Some carried supplies to barricades. Others helped remove rubble or guide the wounded. Aaron had taught them simple strategies overnight, and they moved with more confidence than they had the previous day. Humans and aliens were working together, a unified force against the attackers. Lily and Daniel adjusted the barriers as enemy fire struck. Sparks flew, metal bent, but the shields held. They worked quickly, improvising repairs and reinforcing weak points. Every human action gave the aliens more hope, showing that even in the worst conditions, survival was possible. Ben treated injuries under fire, keeping calm as bullets and debris flew around. He had become a figure of strength for the survivors, a symbol that humans did not panic even when danger surrounded them. Talon, watching from a safe distance, whispered to a friend, "They do not fear. They help. They fight. And they protect. They are strange, but strong." Megan's craft returned for another run, swooping down and drawing enemy fire once more. Her maneuvers were precise, using the smoke, dust, and ruins as cover. She relayed every movement to Aaron, who adjusted ground tactics in real time. The humans anticipated enemy strategies, forcing them into mistakes and confusion. After hours of skirmishes, the enemy paused. They had underestimated the humans and the improvised defenses. Several of their smaller ships were damaged or destroyed by traps, energy barriers, and Megan's precise attacks. The aliens of Lurith watched in awe. Their world was ruined, but humans had turned it into a battlefield they could survive. Aaron gathered the crew for a brief meeting. We cannot stop. They will come again. But today, we showed them that humans do not yield. We survive. We protect. And we fight with what we have. The aliens listened carefully. The elders finally understood the humans' strength, and they began giving instructions to their people to help in defense efforts. The afternoon brought another wave of enemy scouts, larger and more organized than the first. Megan flew overhead, leading some into traps and away from the shelters. Lily and Daniel activated more barriers and improvised alarms using old machinery. Ben and Aaron coordinated ground defenses, ensuring that every alien had a safe place to hide or fight from. The humans worked with precision and calm. Every move was intentional. They used their knowledge of harsh conditions, their experience surviving deadly worlds, and their ability to think quickly under pressure. The enemy was frustrated. Humans could survive dust storms, fire, collapsing buildings, and intense heat conditions that killed most species. The alien attackers could not anticipate the humans' adaptability. By evening, the enemy retreated again, leaving the colony in a tense calm. The humans and survivors were exhausted, but alive. Aaron walked through the shelters, checking on the aliens. Some were injured, some were scared, but all had survived another wave. He looked at Talon and the other young ones. "We will stay," he said softly. "We will protect you. We do not leave when we are needed." Talon smiled faintly. "Humans are not like anyone else," he whispered to a friend. "They fight, but they help. They do not run, and they do not leave. They survive everything." That night, the humans held a planning session. They knew the enemy fleet would return with full force. Megan analyzed flight patterns. Lily improved energy barriers. Daniel studied the terrain for traps, and Ben ensured that the wounded were cared for. Aaron coordinated all efforts. "Tomorrow, we face them again," he said. "We survive because we are humans. We protect because we care. This is our way." The alien survivors listened and learned. Some began setting simple traps under human guidance. Others helped repair shelters. Small acts of courage multiplied across the colony, creating a united front. Humans were no longer strangers. They were leaders, protectors, and teachers. As the night deepened, Aaron looked at the stars. He thought of Earth, a world feared across the galaxy for its harshness. He knew humans had survived deadly worlds and could endure anything. Tonight, that experience mattered more than ever. The colony of Lurith would survive because humans had arrived. Talon drifted off to sleep near a small fire, feeling safer than he had since the first attack. He had seen humans fight with cleverness and courage, survive where others would die, and care for those weaker than themselves. Hope had returned to Lurith, even if only slightly. The humans knew the battle was far from over. The enemy fleet would return stronger and more determined. But humans had an advantage the attackers could not understand. They thrived in conditions others feared, adapted quickly, and would protect the weak, no matter the cost. The colony would survive because humans were here. As the night ended, the humans took shifts watching the skies, tending the wounded, and preparing defenses. Every human action sent a message. We are Deathworlders. We survive where others cannot. But we fight for life, not destruction. And in the ruins of Lurith, the survivors began to believe in something new. Humans were not just strong, they were unstoppable protectors. And with humans here, perhaps their world could survive the galaxy's cruelty.